Right, so finally managed to get everything sorted. A few technical issues, but going to shorten practice, so we're only going to have a few minutes practice, enough for 1, maybe 2 laps. Might have an echo here, so sort this out. Absolute. There we are. So finally. Now bear with me, uno momento. So after many technical difficulties, many problems, And unfortunately, so many issues that we are missing Eddie Catlap from the race tonight. Was unfortunately unable to join after many attempts of the servers. Going to be sorely missed. But he will be streaming it still. He's going to be watching the stream. I don't know if he's going to be streaming. He's watching of the stream, but regardless, head over to his channel, Eddie Catlap Racing, give him some love. But we're going to, let's see how many laps are on the board. Just going to give it till the 10-minute mark. So it's 7:20 now. Give it to the 10-minute mark, and then we'll start qualifying. Get this underway. Apologies for the delay, but this promises to be a race worth waiting for. So as we ride on board with Scotty Ray now, apologies to himself and the rest of his nation, said that last week we had the first Australian winner. Scotty Ray is in fact a Kiwi, not from Australia whatsoever, so apologies for that. We've actually had a winner from New Zealand. Right on board with him now, doing very well last week, taking every single point apart from the fastest lap on, I believe it was a sprint race, which went to Apache. As well, Chicken Yoga, this is his first appearance in the FTWRC this season. Was signed on. There's a few reasons why he couldn't join so far, but here he is today, and currently not many times on the board, but his is the second fastest as it stands. And Scotty improving his time there by a couple of seconds. It does put him 6 seconds further, but it doesn't really mean a lot in practice, and not very many people on the track, and of those that are, seem to be getting the feel for the track, getting the feel for the conditions. So here we are about to start qualifying. So if there are anyone who isn't currently on the tyre of choice for the 5-minute qualifying session, then you have 10 seconds to change to them now, and then qualifying will begin. So here we are getting ready for the 5-minute qualifying session for the sprint race. Round 3 of 8 of the FTWRC. And here we are today in Australia at Mount Panorama. Very technical track, very difficult, very unforgiving. A lot of the track is surrounded by solid walls and barriers, so coming off the track, even just by half a car's width, can end that session. I mean, in the sprint race, light damages aren't, so you can recover from that fairly quickly. But in the feature race, with heavy damage, all it's going to take is one bump, and not only does that add a pit stop to your race, it could cause a lot of problems for any drivers following behind. So it really is important to take a lot of care coming through these sections, especially up and over the mountain. On the way down, a lot of undulation, a lot of opportunity for the car to start to lose balance. Very easy, especially if you look on board with Scotty here, as you come over, taking that too fast, you can lose a lot of downforce on the back end. Very easy to spin it out. I mean, with these cars in particular, with the balanced rear engine, so you do have the weight over the back of the tyres, so it does give you better traction, but that also means going over the crest of a hill does make the front end very light, so you've got to be very careful going over the crest of the hill. So now on board with Apache, our current league leader. It is very close, very closely followed by Grandster as it stands. But after even just one race in the FTWRC, just competing in what half of the racing so far, Scotty Ray has already shown that he is a contender, he is a competitor. And he's yet to make a statement. But that can't mean that the regulars aren't discounted. Old man Stu, very capable of putting in fantastic qualifying times. Very, very capable of coming back. We've seen him so many times in last lap battles. Always exciting at the finish. Always gives it 100%. And it's always a source for excitement. So it'll be interesting to see what he can pull off today. And it's very strange to say that someone as fast and as competent as Old Man Stu, to say, can he upset the grid? Can he pull off an upset? We also have Mia Skinner. Mia Skinner, very competent driver as well, and actually won a 10-round championship lead. The AFL championship came down to the very last round. Started the race 90 minutes at the Nürburgring, around the 24-hour endurance track. Started the race 10 points ahead of odds track. He in second place. Managed to come across the line with an unbelievable performance and taking that championship. So can Mia continue and bring that form into the FTWRC? Can she also challenge Scotty Ray, Apache, Grenster? She's more than capable of putting her times up on the board with theirs. Let's see if she can do it today around Australian track. Damo as well competed in that same league. Had a fantastic last race. Couldn't lose positions, couldn't gain. So he just had a lot of fun. Very entertaining driver to watch. Very entertaining to commentate on. As well as being a very active, fantastic member of the community, as everyone is. Scooby PCM, the go-to man for my tech support. And his technical knowledge transfers onto the track as well. Very tactical. Has been known to act as race engineer for several drivers on stream. To give fantastic advice. Let's see if he can also take that advice. Your own advice is often the hardest to take. But if he trusts himself, it's good advice. And then coming through further, Capitan Jinx. In the previous league that we competed in, he was second in every race, very competent. And then we just see times coming up on the board now. Scotty Ray clear at the front, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Apache half a second behind. Old Man Stu putting in a very competitive time, but he's still nearly 3 seconds behind Apache, and it just shows that step up in class. Old Man Stu is capable of those times, as Capitan Jinx puts in a time, puts him 4th on the board. There is time for one more lap. Grandpa Gary putting in a great time there, qualifying so far provisionally ahead of Mia Skinner, ahead of Scooby, ahead of Damo. But then we do have now Grenster. Grenster's just put in his lap 1.4 off the lead. Sorry, 1.4 off Apache. 2 seconds off the lead of Scotty Ray. As he cruises round now, the 5 minutes has come to an end, so any drivers on a lap will be their final lap. What Old Man Stu pushing to the limit there, almost coming in contact with the wall, just brushing, keeping. Now this is a section very difficult. Like I say, when you come over the crest of that hill, the front end loses a lot of the downforce. You do get understeer. But depending on driving style, depends on the way you handle that. When you look at someone like Apache, very aggressive, very heavy on the throttle, intentionally gets them back wheels spinning, to get a bit of oversteer, to get that rotation in as someone who's grown up learning to drive in go-karts in the wet. But then you have almost the opposite, Grenster, calm, cool, collected, very, very smooth, very easy round there. It's a very interesting battle to see. And then we'll have Scotty Ray, who's just thrown a spanner in the works in terms of the battle between the two. But as we look here, Apache just about to cross the line, holds his position, doesn't improve on his time, half a second slower. We'll have Old Man Stu now rounding the final corner. Can he improve on his time? It's not going to be enough to take a position from anyone ahead. And he is 6/10 down. Apache, fifth place. It looks like this may be the way that it stays from here. Grandpa Gary doing very well, currently 7th on the grid. As he comes round, plus 27 seconds on this lap. I don't know if there was an incident, a crash, or whether he was just taking it easy. But he has his 7th place already. 7/10 clear of Scooby. Again, Scooby, very competent driver with a 207. Very, very closely followed by Druid. Only 18/100th of a second behind, so that's going to be an interesting battle going into the sprint race. And Damo only half a second behind. Mihai, as we've seen before with Mihai, electing to not put in a qualified lap, electing to start from the back. It's always an interesting tactic from Mihai, but again, one of the most competent drivers in terms of coming forward, in terms of making his way through the field. We've seen it before. Are we going to see it again? And so we have it. We have Scotty Ray on pole position. We've seen it again last week. Yet again, gaining pole position. Half a second gap over Apache. And that is an unbelievable lap to put in around here. And Grenster 2 seconds off the lead there. Very surprising. Grenster, not sure, didn't follow the lap that he had. Didn't follow him around the track. Very competent. Still more than comfortable enough to finish qualifying ahead of Capitan Jinx, followed by Old Man Stu from Mia Skinner, Grandpa Gary putting a good time in, and then all the way down, Mihai starting at the back, not putting in a qualifying time. Last tackle Vendor, again, putting a very good session in there, improving every week, a lot of progress from there. Chicken Yoga, Damo ahead of him, and then Druid with a 207. So have a team lockout at the front. Again, off track, previously, teammates, friends, but in this league, rivals. We're seeing last week at Monza, T1, Apache going a little bit deep, pushing his teammate off the track. But like I said, it just goes to show there's no friends in this league. But off the track, a community worth its weight in gold. And it's lights out, and the race is on. Now we're looking on board. We've got to head back, lads. We've got Scotty at the front, getting a good start. But we do have Apache going around the outside, going around the outside of Hell Corner. And oh my word, Apache, we've seen it before, and we'll see it again. He's on the soft tyre. He's going to try to get himself a lead. He's 2/10 ahead now already, taking the outside turn on turn 1. What a move that is, but he's very closely followed now by Scotty Ray. And we'll have Grenstack, Old Man Stu, really pushing, showing the inside. Can he get late on the brakes? He breaks up a little bit early. Grenstad giving him a minute. I'm not sure if there was contact there, but Grenstad's gone a bit wide there. He's lost the back end just slightly. Whether there was contact or not, I am not sure. If there was, I'm sure that Old Man Stu would have waited. But now, that means Mia Skinner up into 4th place. Can she continue the same form that won her the DF4 League previously, just a few days earlier? Old Man Stu giving up that battle, not putting up a lot of defence against Mia Skinner there, knowing that it might not be worth it at this stage in the race. Grandpa Gary up 2 positions, 5th place, going very, riding a lot of curve there, gets a slight touch off the wall, but he knows he's got to have eyes in the back of his head right now because Grenster is the man behind him, and we know Grenster is more than capable of making passes. Now, Grandpa Gary is on the stronger tyre, electing to go with the soft tyres from the start. Behind Grenster, not something that we wouldn't expect on the medium tyre, looking to be a little bit more focused on the full length of the race, a more holistic point of view rather than just racing off the line, getting a few positions ahead. As we move further back, Druid 7th position with Chicken Yoga less than half a second behind, going down this back straight. What a race start this is. Only 2 seconds down, we've got Scooby PCM followed by Capitan Jinx, 10th place. Nearly 4 seconds behind there, but Demo almost within a second, so he's going to be picking up slipstream if he continues with this pace. Mihai already up a couple of positions from the back. It's what we expect to see. And then we'll have 2 seconds off Taco Bender, who was 8 seconds off the lead. I'm not sure if that was just slow start, whether it was just giving way, keeping the nose clean, and making sure to get round here without any damage. But that does put Chubby Mr. 420 just off the back. Also a member of Team Odyssey Motorsports, a very competent team, very great community behind them. As we come back to the lead now, Apache making the most of these soft tyres. 1.2 seconds in the lead already from Scotty Ray. Scotty nearly 4 seconds ahead of Old Man Stew as it stands so far. But Old Man Stew has Mia Skinner half a second behind. We've seen this before. We've seen the pressure that Mia Skinner can put on people. I've seen the pressure and the way that you can manipulate the cars in front of her. But Old Man Stew's been here before. Got a lot of experience. A wise head on his shoulders, as you would expect from an old man who's been around the block. But Mia Skinner, looking around the outside, but the door just got closed there by Old Man Stew. What a race this is turning out to be. Now Grenster, a second off Mia Skinner, he's going to be closing in. And Old Man Stew, it looks like Old Man Stew's gone wide on that corner. I'm not sure what it was. As we look back for Grenster, we'll come back and Old Man Stew off the track, but does set a faster sector time, so that's a very interesting. And he's bumped into the wall. He has front damage, bumper and wheels, so he's going to have to be very careful, knowing that with a wonderful start, less than a second behind him. Now we've got Grandpa Gary going very well on the soft tyres, opposed to Old Man Stew's mediums and front end damage. So Old Man Stew is going to be suffering all the way down this straight, and Grandpa Gary can smell blood. He's licking his lips right now because he could come into the final section of this track battling for 5th place against Old Man Stew, and he's got the skills to do it. He's got the wisdom. He's gone across it. He's going back to the outside. He's got wheels on the grass, but he's managed to hold that together very well, get the car stopped, plenty time, and he's right behind Old Man Stew as they come down towards Murray Corner, the final corner, and then it's the back straight, the home straight, all the way through to Hell Corner. Less than half a second behind Grandpa Gary, though. We've got Chicken Yoga, his first race in the FTWRC as it stands, and he is right behind, waiting for Grandpa Gary and Old Man Stew to start the battle and hopefully pick up on the scraps that get left behind. Going back a couple of positions again, we've got Druid. It looks like he's challenging Scooby. He could get a little bit of a side draft here. He's less than a 10th. And he's about to get alongside Scooby now, coming into the first corner. It's going to be very interesting to see who can get later on the brakes. It's a very bold move to try to go around the outside of this first corner. But Chaos Druid, on his first race, he's just going to hold it back. He's on the soft tyres opposed to the mediums of Scooby PCM. So he knows that when it comes down to the section coming down the mountain, he's going to have the grip, he's going to have the advantage. And coming onto the back straight, down towards the final sector, he knows he's going to have the benefits. But can Scooby PCM defend and hold on to his position? But Chaos Druid is going to have eyes looking forward and eyes in the back of his head, because Capitan Jinx, he is 3/10 behind. So although they're looking forward, waiting for the scraps, waiting for the battles to present a position opportunity, Capitan Jinx is doing the exact same thing behind him. He's biding his time as well. He's on the medium tyres. Behind him, Mihai, 3 positions up from the start. He has got a little bit of a gap formed in front of him, nearly 4 seconds ahead to Capitan Jinx, and Damo's only 1.2. And Scooby, I didn't see what's going down, but coming down the mountain, would mention about Scooby with his defence usually absolutely on the ball. I'm not sure what happened now, but he slipped down a couple of places. That gives Mihai, Damo and Capitan Jinx the opportunity to slide through there. We've got Taco Bender has front damage, So coming up the mountain, wonder if he's just had a knock on the wall. And looking back further, so we've got Mr. 420 Chubby coming through again. Regular competitor, great competitor in the previous league. But looking at the front, Apache has not extended his gap over Scotty, despite having the soft tyres, which do look like they're starting to degrade quite a lot. Now the clouds are starting to form. Will that lower track temperature and will that benefit the tyre degradation of Apache, knowing that only 1 second behind him is Scotty Ray on the medium tyres, so his tyres have a lot more longevity, and he has an 11-second gap ahead of Grenster behind him and has just set the fastest first sector time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the end of this race turns out. It looks like it could yet again be an Apache Scotty Ray battle, and by the end of it, it is Scotty who's going to have the better tyres, the more grip, the more life in them. But we've seen Apache hold his lead from here before, but now the gap is less than a second. And what a start of the sprint this has been, especially for such a technical track, such a difficult track to navigate without causing any problems, without picking up a lot of damage. And a lot of drivers are coming through here very clean, and when there has been damage, they've not lost a lot of places, so it bodes well for the main race. Chicken Yoga managing the whole position now. He's in 6th spot, followed by Chaos Druid. He's only 3/10 ahead of Capitan Jinx. As we come down, we've got Mihai. What I did not see, and haven't seen what the issue may have been, down into 12th place from 6th, we have Grandpa Gary, was running very well, and I am shocked to look through the grid and see him a little bit further back than what I thought he would be. However, just looking up at the front, I'm not sure how that happened, but we'll skip back to the front because Scotty Ray has taken the lead in the sprint race after 4 laps. He is now 3/10 ahead, and he has more longevity in the tyres. Now I'm wondering if Apache's tyres are just starting to fail. It looks like the front right and the back right are just starting to wear a bit more than you would expect. A lot of sun coming at the start of this race, so the track would have been warm, and we know that Apache's an aggressive driver. We know that no matter how far ahead or how close he is to the driver behind, he is on the limit. He is pushing in the outside of these. Oh, Scotty goes a little bit wide there, gets on the grass, holds it together, but Apache's in that slipstream now. He is less than 4/10, coming down to 3/10, and that gap is closing even more. They are now extending their lead ahead of Grenster. Scotty Ray now defending very early, making sure his intentions are well known by Apache. But Apache now biding his time. He's going to come up through this section, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Apache just sit right behind here. Although the more he sits behind the medium tyres of Scotty Ray, the more the degradation is going to affect these tyres, and Scotty knows that. But if Scotty plays this too defensively, he's going to lose time on his lap, and he's going to give Apache an opportunity to come back. But that gap is starting to extend through this fast section over the top of the mountain as they now come round the sweep and left hand. This is where Old Man Stu went wide last time, and I'm not sure if it was himself or whether it was contact. Now we see Scotty Ray coming round that very smooth round here, but we can see Apache matching him 10th for 10th as they come round. What a battle this is, but Scotty Ray has improved and has extended his gap to nearly 1.5 seconds now, and extended that 2 seconds ahead of 3rd place, the pair of them over Grenster. But now looking back, a few more spaces through, coming down the mountain is Old Man Stu, and he is right on the tail of Mia Skinner. Both of these drivers on the medium tyre, and Old Man Stu is within inches of Mia Skinner now, and he just backs off. He knows that after this hairpin, he knows coming down the straight, he's going to have the advantage. And he's bumped the wall, and he nearly lost it, but he's holding it together well. He's done an excellent job of keeping the car straight there, but it means he is now just out of slipstream range of Mia Skinner, and Mia Skinner's going to be looking in her mirrors, and she is going to be so glad that that's the case, because they've already had a few battles this season. Even though this is only the 3rd race, there's been some tremendous battles between these two drivers, so Mia Skinner is more than aware of how much pressure Old Man Stu can put on. But again, he is also very much aware, and we'll see Apache coming into the pits. Those soft tyres have not done him too well, so he's coming in now. This is damage limitation for Apache, but he's going to come back. So as we look through, Grenster now goes through. Grenster's on the medium tyre, so he was looking further into the race. I'm not surprised Apache did start on the soft tyre. He's a very aggressive driver and would have wanted to get himself some space out the front, but Scotty Ray's just had his number. So now Apache on the straight, 5 seconds behind Grenster now. 1.7 seconds ahead of Mia Skinner. So with Apache coming back out of fresh soft, it's very unlikely that Mia Skinner is going to be able to catch Apache. When nobody's like with the fresh soft tyres, he's very aggressive and he's going to be pushing every single inch of this track all the way around. But Mia Skinner knows all it's going to take is one slight mistake from Apache, and that opportunity is right there. We're following her right through to pick up all the scraps that might come from that. Old man Stu, he is still within a second and a half, and he is not letting this go. He will be pushing all the way through here. So again, now the clouds are starting to form overhead. It is just starting to darken a little bit more, but there is less than half of this race left, in this sprint race, so it shouldn't affect the cars too much. Now Chicken Yoga being very closely followed. This battle for 6th, 7th, 8th is still as close as ever. Looking back through here, less than 4/10 is the gap between Chicken Yoga and Capitan Jinx. Capitan Jinx pushing all of the way as they come down, and he's looking around the outside. That's a very, very peculiar place to make a move, but if there was anyone who was going to make it, it would have been that. Made Chicken Yoga think twice about the position that he was, but I don't think Chicken Yoga was ever truly believing that that was the move that was going to come down. Possibly just a slight miss of the braking zone by Capitan Jinx, but being less than a second behind as they come down the straight now. Slipstream is in the favour of Capitan Jinx, who is 2 seconds ahead of Druid, so the slipstream behind is not going to be caught up. Looking back through now, we do have down the back of the grid last tackle bender. I'm not sure how going on the soft tyre might not have been the best option, might just been losing a bit of grip. Now 26 seconds adrift of Grand Park Alley, a very difficult track here. Of all of the tracks on the calendar, this is probably the most treacherous. The barriers all the way around, meters, if not a meter from the track, very unforgiving. But going through Mihai, still pushing, only up to 10th as it stands on the medium tyre. Still 2 seconds behind Demo and Druid. Druid on the soft tyres realised that those tyres aren't going to last the rest of the race, so he's coming in now. So we'll start to see the driver on the soft tyres coming into pit, and it's very unusual to see drivers pitting in a sprint race. However, it's not something we haven't seen before. At Suzuka, the first race of the season, we've seen a few drivers coming in to pit for soft tyres, one of which being Old Man Stu. And when he did, he managed to gain 3-4 positions coming back out of there, and what a move that was. So again, on board with Chicken Yoga, and we'll just look backwards there. We've got Capitan Jinx right on the bumper, but a half a second penalty has been... and Capitan Jinx nearly loses it as it comes through. Just getting on the edge of the curve a little bit too much there. That half a second penalty will take a little bit of the load off Chicken Yoga's mind, but Chicken Yoga knows that Capitan Jinx is more than capable of closing that gap. So as we look further to the front now, Scotty Ray 19 seconds adrift in the lead, as Scotty Ray rounds Murray Corner, the final corner of the track, ready to cross the line to start the 8th lap. He always hell corner there, hell bend as he comes down, takes that very wide on the exit, risking the car's back wheels, risking spinning out, but keeps control of the car fantastically and consistently. Now Apache within 2.5 seconds of Grenstar. Now that time is coming down quite quickly. He's gone through Hellbend, he's gone through that corner very quickly, and he's gained 4/10 just on that corner alone. As we can see in the background now, Old Man Stu and Mia Skinner coming round that first bend, and we have Old Man Stu still on the bumper. As we can see, he's almost alongside. He is coming up alongside now, and he is 100% alongside going into the second corner, and he is late on the brakes there, and he holds that inside line, and that is an unbelievable move from Old Man Stu. We knew it was coming, we knew it was a possibility, and we knew Mia Skinner has the capabilities, has the wisdom to know that when he took that space, it wasn't worth taking the risk of closing him off. She needs to survive, to fight for another day. But now, as long as Mia Skinner can hold on to the slipstream of Old Man Stew here, both on the medium tyres, both very similar degradation, so there's not a lot between them. We've seen these battles before, and it's been exciting, and I expect this to be no different as Mia Skinner comes within millimetres of that wall, really pushing it to the limit, as Old Man Stew does there as well, but holds it together unbelievably well. What an unbelievable display of car control from both of these drivers. So as we go forward as well, just missed out on that. With look at the excitement of that battle, missed out. Apache has now got past Grenstar. It's 4 tenths ahead on that soft tyre. It is what we to a certain extent would expect, but those tyres are going to drop off. Even though there's only 2 laps left after this one, they still are looking in the same condition. And Apache, Grenstar's coming back and he's looking down, but Apache's late on the brakes. Grenstar just teasing that move down the inside, but knowing they're coming round for the last lap, he might have an advantage on the tyres, but Apache very, very good at controlling those soft tyres when they start to degrade. And as they come through Murray Bend, last corner, oh, Grenstar just losing a bit of traction there. Oh, and he's had a bit of a wobble on the grass as well, but he's held it together well. But that does extend Apache's gap between them by a tenth or two. So now coming up this, it's over a second now the gap, so it's going to be difficult for Grenstar to catch up and get in that slipstream. He's now going to be hoping that Apache goes wide on a corner or just loses traction and gives Grenstar and gives him that opportunity to get back in touch. Now Old Man Stew, again, with his late braking, going into that corner, still ahead, only 6 tenths. And that gap is coming down very slightly as Mia Skinner sits in the slipstream of Old Man Stew. And again, like I said, this battle is going to the end. I would expect these coming out of the final corner neck and neck. And I would not put it past Old Man Stew because he just attracts excitement. He's a magnet for drama at the end of the races. But he has the shoulders to carry the pressure as well, and that's what makes it so exciting. Now looking back, Chicken Yoga 1.2 seconds behind Capitan Jinx as they come up the mountain over the top section. Very difficult part of the track to navigate here. Like I said, the undulation, just like that, the back end can spin very easily, and if the driver behind keeps it smooth, they don't have to go particularly quickly, but the traction, they can carry that speed all the way around this section without braking, just the slightest lift coming in, trying to get as close to the wall as they can here, as Chicken Yoga does. Excellent drive, staying just within range of Capitan Jinx, but just outside of the slipstream, so he needs to hopefully push down this section here, but a very difficult section to push, as Chicken Yoga puts in his best sector time through there so far of the race. And looking back, Damo now under pressure, Scooby right behind, less than a second in it, so if he can keep all the way down the mountain in this, down the back straight, he's going to have a big advantage on Damo, both on the medium tyres. Damo's slightly better condition, so does have the advantage on Scooby's come off, Scooby spun out again. Oh, and Druid comes through, Mihai comes through, unfortunately, and as Grandpa Gary comes up, is he going to have the opportunity to start to close in a little bit? Oh, and Scooby's got the power down a little bit early, coming down as well, so he's through the S's. He's managed to put it sideways again, and now look at Grandpa Gary closing the gap. Scooby just coming through, about to go around Forest Elbow, coming down the back straight, and that means now only the S's separate Grandpa Gary and Scooby PCM. So one more mistake from Scooby, and Grandpa Gary on the soft tyre behind him is going to have an opportunity to capitalise, is going to have an opportunity to scrape a few positions forward. As we go forward a little bit further, so we'll go back to the front, Apache extending his lead over Grandstein, nearly 5 seconds now. But looking on board Old Man Stew, looking behind it, that is the front bumper of Mia Skinner, getting ever closer as the concertina effect comes into play. There's still less than a second between them, so Mia Skinner doing very well to hold on to the tail of Old Man Stew here, and I wouldn't be surprised if coming through here the slipstream down the back straight, because Mia is within slipstream range as it stands, and to get very close to the wall again, really pushing now. That gap's come down by a tenth. And looking back, Chicken Yoga now, Capitan Jinx 2 tenths behind, really pushing as they come over the top of the mountain now, as they're about to enter the S's. And there is battles, head-to-head, neck-and-neck battles throughout the entire field right now. As we see Capitan Jinx going deep on the inside. Chicken Yoga just goes, oh, and there's a spin. But Capitan Jinx waiting, very good etiquette, very generous, very respectful then, knowing that it might not have been worth doing. But as we look through the front, Scotty Ray yet again taking first position in a sprint race. Unbelievable performance. But it is Apache who comes down in second, who does have the fastest lap. It's very unlikely that someone's going to beat that unless they're on the soft tyres and absolutely flying. So here's 1 point that you'll steal from Scotty Ray. So they will both get 8 points for this race, but what a finish. But now, Old Man Stew. Oh, and Mia Skinner, I didn't see what happened, but Mia Skinner has taken the lead. Going into Murray Corner, the final corner, and Mia Skinner has fourth position. Old Man Stew pushing as hard as he can, almost losing the back end. What a battle it was between them two. Mia Skinner just taking the position, and it's not what we haven't seen before. Mia Skinner and Old Man Stew, this is a battle for the ages, and this is a battle that will rage on till the very end of this season, and it is going to be close. But now looking, Chicken Yoga, and again, seem to be missing all the action here. Capitan Jinx getting past Chicken Yoga after the incident that they had, after slowing down. Chicken Yoga still within a second behind. Capitan Jinx just wobbling back and forth, giving his appreciation, but he slows down and he gives, oh my word, Capitan Jinx gives Chicken Yoga the position on the line, and that is the height of respect, and that shows exactly what these drivers are about. Damo crossing the line 8th place, Mihai in 9th after start at the back, Chaos Druid only 1 second behind. What a performance it was throughout the grid here. Scooby PCM, with the issues that he had throughout the race, still very respectable. Last Taco Bender now coming through, unfortunately last place, had a few issues coming through, had to pit again. Grandpa Gary had a really good qualifying, a really good start of the race, and it is unfortunate that the sprint race has ended the way that it has, because Grandpa Gary, I believe, deserved a lot better than the position that he got there. But throughout the entire grid there, what an unbelievable race we have just seen, and what an unbelievable start of the night, and a big congratulations for the second time a New Zealander, a Kiwi, has won a race in the FTWRC. What an unbelievable sprint race that was. So now looking through the results there, it was Apache with the fastest lap. So 7 points for second place plus the fastest lap does put, so far tonight, Scotty Ray and Apache 8 points apiece. So it's, again, we've seen it before, Scotty Ray coming into the first place and holding it there, Apache stealing the fastest lap with his aggressive driving style. Grenster doing very well as well, finishing quite a way ahead of Mia Skinner, who had an unbelievable battle with Old Man Stew. And then a little bit further back, Chicken Yoga, Capitan Jinx, and throughout that whole battle, Damo was closing in behind as well. An absolutely unbelievable start of the night. Mihai gaining 5 positions as well. Nothing we don't expect. Unbelievable. Unfortunately, having a disconnect with Chubby Mr. 420 at the end. So that is very, very unfortunate for him, but what a start to the night. So we're going to have 5, maybe 10 minutes little break. Well, not quite. So it's 24. I will say 20. Yeah, we'll say 10 minutes. We'll give people time, get themselves together, have a drink, get themselves sorted, and then we'll be ready for the 10-minute qualifying, following in to 30 laps of Mount Panorama. And if that sprint race is anything to go by, we are in for one hell of a race tonight. Stay tuned, get yourself buckled in, be back here within 10 minutes and we will be sorted. So now, as we stand, 3 more minutes. Yes, got to use at least 2 compounds, 1 mandatory stop. All tyres available, as long as you change them once, no matter what your strategy is. As long as you use 2 compounds, you will be all good. And a reminder to all the drivers and to everyone out watching. So now, mic check. Can everyone hear me now? Am I loud and clear and no longer breaking up? Fantastic, excellent. That's what we want to hear. And also, just to touch on what Old Man Stew said, I agree. I think rain should be an option on every single track and day and night cycle. However, it isn't the case. So, make sure I've got everything as we need. Boom. Break, So as we change here, one update in terms of rules, one thing I have changed for this is we're no longer going under flag rules. And the reason is sometimes when a faster driver is lapping some of the back markers do bend over backwards to get out of the way and sometimes leave the track. And the last thing we want to see is yellow flag as a result of coming off the track and giving a 3-second penalty to a driver coming past. So flag rules no longer on, but pit lane They definitely are. So once everyone is checked in, we will begin the 10-minute qualifier for the round 3 race, 30 laps of Mount Panorama, round Bathurst. And Apache posting crazy logos in-game chat and will not tell Old Man Stu how to do it. How about that for rivalry? And as we just wait for 2 last drivers just to ready up and check in so we can begin tonight's feature race, what you will notice watching at home is every single driver on the grid with a safety record, with a safety rating of S. And that is indicative of the community we're a part of. Clean, fair, fun racing is the name of the game. Old Man Stu, is it Q first? Of course it's Q first. 10-minute qualifying. So you have time, put in a banker lap, then get ready. Everyone's readied up now on the grid. So here we are, ready to start. Yeah, it doesn't have hazards on the wheel. What I would suggest in terms of this, if you are not on an out lap and you've already completed the out lap and you're on a fast lap, probably best to assume everyone else is doing the same. If you haven't got the option on the controls to pop them hazards on, just assume that that is the case. Most drivers will be putting in a banker lap, coming back in, changing tyres, and then going for the fast lap. So as long as, again, as the rules state, going into corners, no defending, no attacking. If a driver in front of you is on a fast lap and they're going a little bit slower than you, unfortunately, that just means on the next lap you have to give a little bit more space. Not everyone is an alien. So here we go. Ready for the qualifying session. 10 minutes qualifying for the round 3 of the FTWRC. Only 40 minutes late, but rather late than never. And Old Man Stu's pit box position right at the back. So unusually, we don't have Old Man Stu as being the first man out on track. First on track we have is Damo, getting himself ahead, making sure he's got an opportunity to have some clean air, but he does have Apache behind. Apache more than wise enough, more than experienced enough to know that he's going to leave that gap unless Damo lets him through and gives him that space, which it looks like he is doing. Apache flashing the lights in appreciation there. So Apache really not wasting any time. Once you get this first lap in, get back in the pits and get ready for a push lap. We've seen before, previously in the season, that without the banker lap, if you leave one lap at the end of qualifying and any issues come of that, it does mean you will suffer. But if you can get that banker lap in, if you can get that first lap on the grid, even just to secure a couple of positions, it does make it a lot more comfortable, a lot more pressure off coming the fast lap at the end. So have now Scotty Ray as well, one of the favourites, especially being a man from Oceania himself. It's not quite the country that he's from, unfortunately. I apologise, I did say that it was last week. However, this is borderline home turf for Scotty Ray, so we will see exactly what he can do here. Now down the straight with his indicator on, Capitan Jinx just lifting off, letting Old Man Stu through, giving him the space, giving him the opportunity to have a bit of clean air in front of him. Old Man Stu appreciates that and acknowledges that with a flashing of the hazards. And then behind, in the Revolut silver and purple livery, Grandpa Gary. Very well in qualifying in the sprint race. So I would expect to see the same things from Grandpa Gary in this one. See if he can qualify a little bit higher up the grid. And he's backed out of the outlap. He's coming in. He's going to get some fresh tyres on by the looks of it. Have a better run at it. Maybe he got a bit of dirt. Yeah, maybe thought he was a little bit too close to some of the drivers ahead. Now looking back as well, we'll have Mihai starting a fast lap. So Mihai opting to qualify in the race. Knowing and the hazards are on, so he is going to be pushing. He is going to be looking to put in a time and start to challenge the top grid after starting at the back. So Grenster, again, as we've seen before, a little bit later than everyone else, usually the last one to start his fast lap, and as he does that now, coming into Hell Corner, takes that first, right, and runs wide very well here, keeps the power down, excellent traction, and now have Chicken Yoga as well. The last driver to start fastest lap. Oh, getting very in. He's going to go very wide, just using all of that curve, all of the space. Excellent start of the lap as he comes down the straight, heading up towards T2. But now what we will do, we'll ride on board with Apache now. We'll focus on this, but expect this lap to be a good one. But he knows that Scotty Ray's behind. Can the pressure of having to push affect? Will he overcommit? Will he overdrive this? It's not something we'll see for Apache a lot. However, because he pushes every inch of the way around the track, whether he's 30 seconds ahead in the lead or 30 seconds behind, he will do nothing other than push, push, push. So he is going to be setting the first lap. As he comes over the line, he puts in a 2:02.249, so that's an excellent start. So now, and Scotty Ray puts himself only 88/100ths of a second ahead of that time, so a very close to of the first few laps. Now Druid comes over for his first banking lap, got a 2:08, that puts him in third position. Old Man Stu, next man to finish his first lap, and he goes 30, still 4 seconds off the lead, but Capitan Jinx pips him as well, a 2:05, 3 seconds behind Apache, but 8/10 ahead of Old Man Stu. So as we flick back further through the grid, next man to finish. So have a look through here as he starts to fight. So we've got Mihai going fourth place. Mihai putting himself into fourth position, so he is a very strong competitor. Old Man Stu got damage on his outlap, so he did have a little bit of a problem. It did slow him down. So we will see another solid lap from Old Man Stu, because to be honest, I did expect to see a little bit faster, so that does make sense. He still is carrying damage there, so I gracefully letting Capitan Jinx through. Half of the qualifying stage has already been completed, so Old Man Stu does have time to pit, sort out this damage, get another lap in. Grenster reporting the lap that he was on, coming into the pit. Fresh tyres for Grenster. Mia Skinner on a fast lap, yet to put in his time. Same with Damo, Grandpa Gary, and Scooby, both on fast laps now. So apologies to anyone watching for flicking through these drivers and making you feel busy or sick, but I need to see what's going on. But again, so now Scotty Ray coming round the final bend. Apache's gone into the pits. He's going to get some fresh tyres on. Holding together very well, Scotty Ray there. As he comes towards the finish line, is he going to improve on his time? And he has! What a time that is! A 2 minutes 1.1. So that puts him more than half a second clear of Apache in second place as it stands. Just coming over the line now. So we've got Chaos through it. He's coming around. Can he improve on his time of a 2:08? It looks like he will. It's a 2:07. It holds the position that he's in. But what a start of the qualifying session we have here. And again, I apologise, flipping through all the way. I want to see who's crossing the line here. Mia Skinner, what time can Mia put in? It's a 2:05. That goes up to fourth. So she displaces Mihai and Old Man Stu onto the second row of the grid. Now have Mihai on his second flying lap, and he goes up into third. He puts himself, and he demotes Mia Skinner down to the third row. Mihai put himself in the podium position for qualifying so far. 3 minutes left. Drivers do have a time for another lap. And now Mihai, even putting in a qualifying time, Not something we're used to. He is a man who likes to try to come through the field and have himself a bit of fun, and he set his best sector time at first, and his tyres are still looking pretty fresh. Grandpa Gary putting in his fastest time as well. He's in 9th place as he comes through. Chicken Yoga now coming through the final corner, coming through Murray corner. What can he do? Can he improve his time? He is going to improve his time, and he puts himself up to 8th. Chicken Yoga jumps Grandpa Gary and Damo with a 2:07, so that's only 1/10 behind as Scooby puts in the fastest lap, and he steps up in the 9th position as well. What an exciting start of the qualifying. What can Grenster do? Grenster now starting his fast lap, so he will have time to set another if it doesn't quite go well, but we expect big things from Grenster here. No pressure to the fin. He is calm, cool, collected, just as you'd expect. As he comes around, this is going to be a good lap as he's on the fresh softs. Just coming around the final corner now. Into the pit lane is Scotty. So Scotty's going to be putting some fresh tyres on, going out for a final run. Was that first time that he put there that? Give him provisional pole. Was that a safety lap? Was that a banker? Has he got more in the tank ready to come out? This is exciting because Apache, he's now coming out. He's just about to start his flying lap, his final flying lap, and we know what Apache can do in the final stages of qualifying. He will be pushing every single ounce out of this car as he goes right up onto the curb. What a start this is. So as we see Damo about to come over the line, can he improve his time? He doesn't. It stays as it is. I'm flicking through really fast again. Sorry if I'm making anyone dizzy. He's about to come across the line here. I can see. Yeah, also Grandpa Gary. His fastest lap so far for 2:09. He's got his foot down flight. He's got traction very good out of that corner. Is he going to improve his time? He does by half a second. That does hold the position that he's in. And the man behind is Grenster. He's just coming around the final section here. He's coming down the final straight up into Murray corner. What can he do? His time is looking competitive. Chicken Yoga sets a new record. He's put a 2:07 on the board, and that's a great time. Oh, he just gets the traction down. This is going to be a competitive time from Grenster. What can he do? And he goes into third. He demotes Capitan Jinx from the second row. Grenster will be starting directly behind the leader, Scotty Ray, with the slipstream if he can retain his pole position. And now Apache is coming down the final straight. It looks like he has just lifted there. He's half throttle. He is happy with the time that he's got. He hasn't been happy with that lap. But Scotty Ray is pushing, but he's on an out lap, so it's not going to count. So Scotty Ray so far, provisional pole. We will see if anyone else can compete with that. Grenster going through. It looks like he's going to be doing it. No, it looks like he's backed off a little bit there, but he is still flashing, so he's on a push lap. Who's about to cross the line? I can see on the grid. Oh, so coming around now. Actually coming into the pits. Who's next to come over the line? So we've got Mia Skinner. Mia Skinner's pushing here. Mia Skinner down in 6th, but only 2/10 behind Capitan Jinx. And that is not what I expected. The newly crowned champion of the default championship after 10 rounds doesn't improve. Stays 6th on the grid. Now just about to cross the line. Trying to flick through. It's Capitan Jinx puts himself back on the second row. 9/10 off Capitan Jinx's fastest time. But Old Man Stu coming around now. Can he challenge? Can he improve on his time? He has got that. And he does, but it's not enough. And guess who it is? Who is just one space, 2/10 ahead of Old Man Stu. Locks together on the grid. It's Mia Skinner. It's Old Man Stu. And this is a battle I expect not only through the rest of this race, but the rest of this season. Now coming down the final straight on the final lap. We've got Chicken Yoga. Grandpa Gary just letting through now. Chicken Yoga's not going to improve on his time. But we've got Scooby PCM flying through here. Can he improve on his time? Oh, he doesn't. He retains 8th position there and just crossing the line on the final lap. So that is qualifying complete because Grenster has completely backed out of that lap. I'm not sure what happened there, but it wasn't. But He's happy with third place. He's going to be starting in the slipstream of our pole sitter yet again, Scotty Ray, in second place. Apache, the front row lockout teammates yet again. Are we going to see Apache make that move into hell corner, into the first bend, or is Scotty Ray going to manage to defend it and hold him off this time? What a race has been set up here and how close that is. And again, the story of this 6th and 7th, Old Man Stew, Mia Skinner, locked in battle, locked in rivalry, and I can't wait to see the way this unfolds, because looking back through further, the gap between PCM, between Scooby and Chicken Yoga, 1/10 of a second. So we'll just have a look here at the lap time. Scotty Ray with the fastest time, put himself on pole position, half a second behind. And yes, it is a longer lap. Yes, it is a 2-minute lap, but half a second just shows the quality that Scotty Ray has. Considering he's getting up at 5:30 local time for himself to compete in these races, unbelievable effort. And then if you bear with me, 2 or 3, just 1 minute, give everyone a chance to change the tyres, get this strategy sorted, and allow me to take enough breaths to last the rest of this race. So we will just wait an extra 1 minute just to give everyone a chance to get themselves ready, get themselves sorted. It is just over a 2-minute lap, 30 laps. It's going to be just over an hour, and I guarantee every single minute of this race is going to be worth watching. So those of you on YouTube watching along, get yourself a drink, get yourself sorted, get yourself booted and suited and sat down and strapped in, because when these lights go out, the race is on. So everyone, I'll give you a 30-second warning now. I know some of the drivers are back, some drivers take the break. 30 seconds and we will get started. So if everyone wants to put an R in the chat just to let us know that they're ready. And also, one thing that I did notice actually is I've been directing, we obviously are raising money for Mind and Macmillan Cancer Support throughout this. On the weekend of the 27th, on the Saturday from 1 o'clock, on this channel, there is going to be a 24-hour stream. So we're going to be doing 30-minute races, each with 5-minute qualifying throughout. We're going to have co-commentators. We're going to have a few different things going on. It's going to be hopefully very entertaining and hopefully raise a lot of money for charity. I do realize that previously when I've put the link to the donations in the description, it hasn't actually put the full link. It's just put a little ellipsis at the end, which is a bit frustrating. However, what I will do, and if you are watching now in the chat, we'll put the Discord link in there, so you can join the Discord, have a look in there, we'll get the full link. If you want to make a donation, that would be most appreciated. However, just getting involved, just watching the races and just participating in this is more than enough, and I appreciate every bit of support that everyone gives and the community spirit that we have. Unbelievable. Demo in there as well, full 24 hours. So again, that's something I'm going to focus on in the Discord. If someone wants to commit prior to the full 24, or if you want to group together in teams of 2 or 3 and compete in every single race, then that is something worth doing. That is something I'll promote, and I think that that deserves a donation, contribution, and support in itself. Again, absolutely unbelievable commitment to the cause. And again, that is the weekend of the 27th of June from 1 o'clock till 1 o'clock on the Sunday, finishing 1 hour before the Austrian Grand Prix, for which I'm going to try my best to stay awake for, but it's probably not going to happen. And hopefully, with the goal of £500 for charity that we've set to end at the final race of the season, with this charity fundraiser and with the support of everyone, I would imagine we're probably going to hit that target prior to then. But regardless, it's all for charity. We're all winners. So now, here we are. The race begins. As we have the lights. And it's lights out. And the race is on. It was quite a long hold for the drivers on the line there. So now, looking at the front, we've got Apache on the outside again. He's not going to go for the same move. And Scotty Ray on the medium tyres does a great job of defending there and already has a half a second gap ahead. Everyone coming through Health Corner. The first bend very, very well, all cleanly. Apache right in the slipstream. And now we have Grenstar in second place, coming through on the inside. Apache now challenging on the inside of T2. Scotty with a nice little lead in the head. Grenstar on the hard tyre. That is something we expect from Grenstar. He always looks long. He has surgical precision. He works out angles to corners that hypotenuse couldn't figure out. Unbelievable. He does just lose a little bit of the back end there, but you expect that on the hard tyre. Looking back further through the grid, we've got a battle going on. An unbelievable battle. Old Man Stu. Oh, and Old Man Stu. Old Man Stu picks up damage already, going around the outside of Druid in 7th place. He's on the hard tyres. He's just lost traction. And that really does throw a spanner in the works for Old Man Stu, who is only 4 tenths ahead of Grandpa Gary behind, who's on the medium tyres. Coming through down the mountain now. Grandpa Gary already gaining many places. And Chaos Druid spun. Chaos Druid spun along. He's got damage coming through the yeses. And Mia Skinner coming through. Mia Skinner at 11. Damage free coming round. Thankfully, there was a ghost of a Chaos Druid dropping down to last place. Now, Scotty Ray at the front. 2 seconds is the gap ahead on the medium tyres. We have Apache also on the medium tyres. 3 seconds ahead of Grenstar. Nearly 2 seconds behind Scotty Ray. Mihai, 4th place, but he's got Capitan Jinx less than half a second behind him, just weaving behind. Maybe he's trying to warm those tyres up. Maybe he's trying to clean them off. I'm not sure if he got dirty tyres coming through there. Old Man Stu, he's now up into 6th place. From that start, he does have damage. He's on the hard tyres. Is that damage affecting him enough
to warrant a pit stop coming in here, or is he going to brave it out? He is braving it out, and that is going to make it difficult for Old Man Stu. But if there is anyone who has an old head wise enough to support the weight of this damage, it is him. But not far behind him, we've got Grandpa Gary. But Grandpa Gary is now going past. He's on the outside. Has he got? And Chicken Yoga's back now to Grandpa Gary in 7th place. What a start it is for Grandpa Gary. He's ahead of Chicken Yoga. Chicken Yoga just on the inside. Grandpa Gary positioning his car unbelievably there. Not making a defensive move. Holding it in the center of the track. Keeping himself. And he set the best sector time. Grandpa Gary on the medium tires. What a start of the race this is. And looking back, Chicken Yoga losing the place. Demo fresh out of his finale fun in the DFL Championship. He's coming around. He's right behind Grandpa Gary now after taking the position of Chicken Yoga. And we have Mia Skinner. Mia Skinner, after navigating some very difficult traffic, coming through over the top of the mountain on the first lap. Less than 2 tenths, behind Chicken Yoga, just easing off a bit. Doesn't want to cause any problem. The 3 cars in front, you could throw a blanket over. And as Mia Skinner comes round, Mia is going to be hoping for an issue. She's going to be hoping for someone to make a mistake here, because coming down on Old Man Stu, and that is the mistake. Old Man Stu coming through the S's. He did have a gap of 4 seconds, but now he has only increased the level of damage on the front of his car, and that just goes to show on the hard tires right at the start of the race, and he is drifting round. What a drift that was, though. Ken Block, eat your heart. Oh wait, no, you can't. Sorry, rest in peace, Ken Block. So we've got Grandpa Gary now 7th place. We're looking back here. Mia Skinner drop back a little bit. Mia Skinner gaining position. Damo behind. Teammates again off track. Rivals on it. And Damo's not going to let her get away from this. Sitting in the slipstream. Mia Skinner setting her best sector time. But as we quickly flick back through to the front, we have Scotty Reid now with the medium tyres, setting the fastest lap, as you would expect so early in the race. 3 seconds is the going a little bit wide, holding it together very well, using every millimeter of the track there. Apache 3 seconds behind the lead, but 7 seconds ahead of Grenstar. But Grenstar's not looking to start smashing out positions this early in the race. Grenstar's looking for the end. Grenstar's looking for the race, the war of attrition. Capitan Jinx 2 seconds adrift, setting his best sector time. Mihai nearly 2 seconds behind Capitan Jinx. Grandpa Gary, talk of the race so far, Grandpa Gary up to 6th position. And if he can keep his nose clean, if he can just keep it as it is, he could do very, very well here. Qualifying very well in the sprint, but unfortunately losing a lot of positions in the process. Not qualifying the best for the race, but up into 6th place already. He does have Mia Skinner all over the back of him. They are both on the medium tyre, so there is no tyre advantage. And coming through, Mia Skinner right up behind now, really pushing the issue here. We know Mia Skinner's going to try to manufacture a position here. Mia Skinner doesn't want to start attacking and wasting time of her own. She's going to try to pressure Grandpa Gary into a mistake so that he gives her the position. But Grandpa Gary's been around the block. He knows not to feel the pressure. He knows on a track this narrow and this treacherous, if he holds his line and just, it's like driving down the motorway when you're doing 70 and the guy behind's doing more, and you just go, you know what, I'm not pulling over, I'm doing 70, because that's how it is. That's what he needs to do. He needs to drive his own race and make Mia Skinner make the move, and he is more than capable of doing so. But now, just over a second behind Mia Skinner is Chicken Yoga. Again, his first race night of the season so far, setting the best sector time of his race so far in that. He's over a second behind. But now looking ahead, there we go. That's what we expect to see. Mia Skinner showing the inside, threatening the move, but he knows that she's just trying to get into Grandpa Gary's head, and he's defending early, and he's going to park this on the apex, and he's just going to make sure, because going into the first corner, going into the hell turn, he knows that it's an absolute treacherous, and he can see in his mirror that now Chicken Yoga on the inside line, less than 2 tenths behind Mia Skinner. Grandpa Gary defending that corner very, very well, using all of the track. What a start of the race this is for Grandpa Gary. And even though he couldn't join the race and he's sitting watching the stream, I bet Eddie Catlap got tears in his eyes seeing this performance. Now Mia Skinner going to be very hesitant to try to make a move on Grandpa Gary. He's going to threaten it down the inside. Grandpa Gary's not falling for that one. He's going round because he knows in the background Chicken Yoga is pushing. Oh, Damo just behind, going a little bit wide there. He's got rear bumper damage and back wheel. That allows Scooby to go through there. Now Scooby on the medium tire also has damage. But looking forward now. Oh, Mia Skinner's made the move on Grandpa Gary. Grandpa Gary has lost the position and he has rear bumper damage. I'm not sure what happened there, but Mia Skinner's taken full advantage of this. But now Grandpa Gary, he needs to keep his cool because Chicken Yoga is right behind. And if he can hold Chicken Yoga up just to make sure that he can get around to the pits, get that pit stop in his other medium tires, can we see a change in strategy? Chicken Yoga pressing, and if he can hold and back Chicken Yoga up, he can see that behind Chicken Yoga is Scooby PCM, who is less than half a second behind. So that means Grandpa Gary is going to be seeing that Chicken Yoga has eyes on the mirrors because Scooby is really closing. But behind Scooby, Damo with an unbelievable start of the race as well. And even though Damo's picked up damage, he is holding himself. He is holding behind Scooby as well. What a start of the race this is. And now we see Chicken Yoga still just in the slipstream of Grandpa Gary. But Grandpa Gary keeping his head about him, making sure he knows he's already up 4 or 5 positions, and he needs to hold that together as he comes into the final stage, as he comes through. Just holding his line, not taking too much of the track ahead. He knows he's got damage on the back. It doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. So is he going to hold it out? He is. He's going to brave it out. Just like several other drivers. But Mia Skinner comes around the final corner. 3 seconds ahead of Grandpa Gary now. No damage to Mia Skinner's car. Setting her best lap of the race so far by more than half a second. What a start of the race this is. But that battle raging behind has given Mihai the opportunity to build a 12-second gap between himself and Mia Skinner, and now there is a 3-second gap between himself and Capitan Jinx in front of him. Capitan Jinx still managing to keep less than 3 seconds gap between himself and Grenstar, both on the hard tyre, both looking a little bit further into the race. Now, with previous races, the fuel tanks have been underfueled a little bit so that they are lighter to the start of the race to give themselves a bit more of a chance. Drivers who go for a 2-stop strategy can afford to save a bit of fuel filling time and go for a 2-stop, whereas drivers on a 1-stop strategy are going to have to spend a little bit extra time in the pits refilling that tank just to make sure they've got enough. There are drivers on the field who are more than capable of stretching out a tank of fuel all the way to the end of the race if they need to, but that will sacrifice time. And then when you have people on the grid like Apache, who don't have time for going slow, who push every single second of the race, those extra seconds in the pit box, refueling the car, really make all of the difference. But now the gap between Apache and Grenstar in 3rd place, nearly 15 seconds. But Scotty Ray holding his lead out in the front by nearly 6 seconds over Apache. What an unbelievable start to the race this is. Old Man Stu struggled at the start of the race, did pick up a bit of damage on those hard tyres, so he has had to come in. He has refueled somewhat, and not a full tank, but enough to get him through this stint. He's now 8 seconds adrift from Damo. Damo doing very well. Damo's still within a second of Grandpa Gary in front of him, and he is only closing that gap now, less than half a second. Coming through the final sector, still has damage on the rear. Grandpa Gary, I didn't see how it happened, but he now has light damage front and back bumpers. Now jumping forward to Scooby PCM. An excellent start of the race it's been for him. Chicken Yoga, the man in front. Chicken Yoga's first appearance in the FTWRC so far. He's on a soft tyre with no damage. So the fact that Scooby's keeping up with him on the medium with front bumper and left tyre damage is unbelievable, and what a credit to Scooby and his precision and tactics that he has, that he is managing to keep up with Chicken Yoga, who is going very well on those soft tyres. Now look at Mihai, he's kept a gap of nearly 10 seconds between himself and Mia Skinner, who is still going well, no damage. Our tyres are looking very good, and the fuel consumptions look very efficient, so Mia Skinner looks like this first stint could be quite a long one. So in the pits, when it comes to the pit window, we could see Mia Skinner jump a couple of positions on the overcut, and if she can hold on to that, she can hold herself in good stead Mihai just loses a bit of traction there. He's got front bumper damage and left wheel damage, and his soft tyres are now starting to degrade, but he's doing very well to hold his position, holding the 4-second gap between himself and Capitan Jinx in front, whose hard tyres are still in brilliant condition with no damage, and he is 7 seconds drift of Grenster in third place. But the gap between Grenster in third and Apache in second has now extended to 17, almost 18 seconds. And the gap between Apache and Scotty Ray in first, 6 seconds. So it seems to be holding order at the front as the clouds start to build. So right now, the track temperature is going to start to drop. So we're going to see tyre degradation lower. We're going to see more efficiency. And that means drivers are going to have to push a little bit harder without losing that grip, without losing the tyre. So those drivers on the hard tyre, such as Grenster, Capitan Jinx, have we got anyone else on the hard tyre? No, actually it's just Grenster and Capitan Jinx. These are the drivers that are now going to benefit, because if they can keep the heat in their tyres, when the temperature drops, their tyre degradation is going to be minimized. So it means their tyres are going to be able to get extended even further. And we have seen this from Grenster before. We have seen Grenster go lap after lap after lap further than anyone can expect him to get these tyres to go, as he comes within millimetres of that wall coming through there. What an exciting start of the race this is. The second has extended between himself and Apache, an extra second on that gap, but Apache has closed just a couple of tenths on Scotty Ray. Scotty Ray's tyres in a little bit better condition, so he is looking after them a little bit better, and considering he has managed to amass a 6-second lead, this means Apache is really going to have to go for it if he want to close this gap. And if history is anything to go by, usually Apache will not favour the harder tyre, so he will go medium, soft. But the way these tyres are degrading right now, his tyres, he's still got life in them yet, but he will do very well to stretch that out to a medium soft. But if he can do it, if there's anyone who can do it, it is Apache. Now looking back, there is a bit more of a spread in the field now, so there's not a lot of battles going on. It is just everyone racing for time now. As we flick through, apologies flicking through so quick, people watching. Oh, and Scooby's had another spin. Scooby's had another. That gives Mihai the opportunity to go through. Mihai takes 6th position, and so does Grandpa Gary, goes through into 7th, and Old Man Stu is now threatening, and he goes under the grass to make that position. Oh, Scooby, it all started so well, and it's all slowly started to fall apart. So now surely he will have to bid for this damage. It looks like his car's tracking a little bit now, so he's having to steer onto the straight. But looking ahead, now we've got Old Man Stu giving a lot of pressure on the back of Grandpa Gary. Grandpa Gary's tyres, he's got to bear in mind, Old Man Stu has pitted before, so his tyres are a lot fresher, and Grandpa Gary's continuing to pass the pit lane and continue to stay out, and Old Man Stu is going to be licking his lips because he knows Grandpa Gary's tyres are a little bit older. He knows he's been out longer, so Old Man Stu's just going to bide his time, knowing he has a lot longer left in those tyres, but also knowing that Scooby behind him has had a couple of spins. He's bumped into the wall and he hasn't changed his tyres. So Old Man Stu really sitting here now in a very advantageous position without having to take any risks, without having to push the issue. He may manage to, by keeping his nose clean, to work his way through the field here. Grandpa Gary positioning his car very, very well in front of Old Man Stu there. Not going too defensive, but just enough to make sure that Old Man can't make a move as they come up now. Oh, into the cutter, right cut across, and again, Grandpa Gary's gone a little bit wide, and has the distraction, and Old Man Stu's going around the outside. He's going around the outside, and it looks like, and he's come across. He's being cut across. That was neck and neck, and Grandpa Gary knows what he's done, and he's given the position. Well done, Grandpa Gary, but as a result, he's losing the position to Scooby. But Scooby also has damage. Now these 3 drivers, 9, 8, 7, all have slight damage. Old Man Stu's looks like the lightest damage, and he has the freshest tyre, so if he can just keep his cool, he might be able to build a gap here. Scooby PCM, Grandpa Gary, very unfortunate. He was neck and neck. He just lost traction and pushed him a little bit wide. It was nothing intentional, but hats off to Grandpa Gary for backing off, and just conceding that position and let him go through, not at risk of any penalties or anything there. Fantastic etiquette, and you have to take your hat off to him. He was doing so well and somehow managed 3, maybe 4 laps with damage without losing the position. It's unbelievable that he's managed to go that far through. But now Old Man Stu managing to gain a gap onto, and now he's pressuring Mihai for 6th place. He's pressuring Mihai for 6th place, who does have slight front bumper damage, but on fresh mediums. But Old Man Stu, regardless of his damage, regardless of his tyre wear, knows Mihai just really covering that inside line now. But Old Man Stu is looking for blood. He is out for positions, and what a performance this is from Old Man Stu. Not allowing that bump, not allowing that slight damage to affect his race. And now he's cutting back, he's gone wide, and he's cutting back. Oh, he's nearly lost it a little bit, but he knows he's going to be slipping straight into the slipstream now. And what an unbelievable race this is. And I'm getting kisses from the dog while he's racing. He's getting excited as I am. This is unbelievable. And now Old Man Stu, less than 2 tenths behind. He's going now. Mihai defending the inside of that second turn. But Old Man Stu's going around the outside and Mihai not going too deep, holding his line, holding his nerve. Excellent defense. Old Man Stu knowing he wasn't going to make that corner, but making Mihai think about it anyway. As they come through cutter, both riding with front damage. Mihai, front bumper and right wheel. Old Man Stu, front bumper and left wheel. But it's Mihai with the fresher tyres. Oh, and he's come within millimetres of the wall. And again, an Old Man Stu pushing to the absolute limit here, despite the damage, despite the tyre wear. He is pushing. As we skip forward, Mia closing the gap on Capitan James, less than 3 seconds now, just pushing ahead. Apache extending his gap over Grenster to 26 seconds, but Scotty Ray extending his lead to nearly 8 seconds over Apache. But those tyres are now starting to degrade. The fuel tank still got life in it, but it looks like those tyres may degrade before the fuel tank needs filling. So, what is the strategy? Grenster on the hard tyres, Apache, Scotty Ray both on the mediums. So it looks like, if it is the case that Apache and Scotty Ray have to come into the pits, Grenster may jump them in the pits, and if he can look after these tyres, and if he can be efficient with his fuel without making any mistake, Grenster could stand a real chance of doing very, very well here, despite having the disadvantage at the start with the hard tyres. He's looking more holistic. He's looking towards the end of the race. Looking back through now, Old Man Stu pushing now. 2 seconds. I didn't see the overtake, but he's ahead of Mihai by 2.5 seconds already. Coming into the first corner, coming at the hell bend, and now there is a 20-second gap between himself and Mia Skinner, but Mia Skinner yet to pit as well. So Old Man Stu haven't pitted after a couple of laps, even though he's got light damage. It is not affecting his race whatsoever. Consistency in his times. So Mia Skinner, he knows if he can hold it out, he's got more than twice the fuel that Mia Skinner's got in her car. So although she's light out right now, she's going to have to spend some time filling that up. At that point, Old Man Stu could potentially swoop in and take that position from her and hopefully hold that out in front in his eyes. But that is yet to be discovered. Now, Chicken Yoga, 3 seconds adrift of Mihai, 3 seconds ahead of Grandpa Gary. Grandpa Gary, again, has dropped down to 9th, still got a bit of damage, but compared to his qualifying position, a very, very strong start of the race. The first third of the race from Grandpa Gary, and if he can continue this consistency, we could see quite a few points being added to the tally of Grandpa Gary. Unbelievable. But now Damo, and now looking, Damo, no damage on the soft tyre, right up behind Scooby, who's got front tyre damage, he's got front bumper damage, and his medium tyres are starting to wear. Oh, and his brake late coming in there. This could be an opportunity for Damo on the fresher, softer tyres, with no damage. Oh, and Scooby's done it again. Unfortunately, Scooby's has fell foul of the damage that he's got at the front bumper and the front wheel. He's bumped in, he's got further damage, and that gives Damo the opportunity to get nearly 4 seconds ahead of Scooby now, more than 4, and hopefully start closing a gap on Grandpa Gary. And that also means Chaos, he's got no damage. Chaos Druid has now managed to keep his nose clean. So that means with Scooby on the medium tyres that are starting to degrade, with the damage, he's probably going to be coming into the pits. If not this lap, the next one. That's going to give Chaos Druid the opportunity to get back into this race, to get back up at the top there. And what a start this has been to this race. But however, skipping back in front. Oh, we've just seen a move there. Oh, I missed that. What was that? Capitan Jinx. Has Capitan Jinx just gone past Mia Skinner, or has that continued to be the same battle? Either way, coming up the mountain, Mia Skinner is half a second behind Capitan Jinx, and Capitan Jinx on the hard tyre, Mia Skinner on the medium. So this is going to be a battle all the way down. Mia Skinner knows that her tyres are going to continue to degrade if she's stuck behind Capitan Jinx, and she does not want to force the issue too much coming through this later section. But Capitan Jinx also knows that he needs to be on the ball to defend against Mia Skinner, because Mia Skinner is an absolute tactician when it comes to these parts of the race. Right up behind Capitan Jinx. Capitan Jinx taking a wide line, late apex, trying to get the best traction that he can out of this, knowing his hard tyres are as degraded as Mia Skinner's medium. So although Mia has the tyre advantage in terms of grip, her tyres are going to start to drop off very soon, and Capitan Jinx's hard tyres are going to come in clutch. But right in the slipstream now is Mia Skinner, coming down this back straight, absolutely flying up to the bumper of Capitan Jinx now. This could be a battle going in to Hell Bend, coming into Hell Corner, the first corner of the first lap, of the next lap, sorry. And Mia Skinner looking down the inside already, coming into Murray Bend, the final corner. Mia Skinner's got ahead, G-brakes late, she's got the inside line. Capitan Jinx concedes that space, drops into the slipstream. What a move that is from Mia Skinner, very opportunist, didn't force the issue, just waited for it to arise and takes that position. And then oh, she goes a little bit deep, loses the back end a little bit going into T1, and that gives Capitan Jinx the opportunity to stay within 3/10, and now has a slipstream all the way up. What a race this is! Battles throughout the field. As we look a little bit further back, just taking a little bit of the break from that battle, Old Man Stu, fresh medium tyres, really starting to push on Scooby now. Scooby, front bumper, right front tyre damage, degrading tyres. Scooby's going to be coming into the pit soon. Old Man Stu knows there's an opportunity there to be taken. However, is he going to force the issue, or does he know that Scooby is going to have to pit soon? Is he going to play the long game and just wait for that opportunity to arise? Or is Old Man Stu going to take this position on track? Is he going to take it on merit? Oh, he's right up behind, coming through the top section, coming through Cutter, and he is really pressing the issue here. And Scotty Ray and Apache both pitting on the same lap now. Their medium tyre started to degrade. Will this give Grenzer the opportunity as Grenzer comes towards Murray Corner? As he comes to the final bend, Scotty Ray is now coming out of the pits, and that means Apache will be coming out of the pits. But looking over, so Apache out of the pits now, but Grenzer has approached that gap, but still riding on board with Scooby as he comes through. Oh, Old Man Stu right up behind there, and he's just come within inches of no rear bumper damage for Scooby. But Old Man Stu really shown and stated his intentions here. He is wanting this position, and he's wanting it before Scooby pits. He's wanting to take it, and so and Scooby's gone off to the left. The tracking issues of the front wheels has took Scooby into the barrier just enough to give Old Man Stu clean air now as he comes down less than 3 seconds behind Demo, and Demo's on the soft tyres which have degraded now with bumper damage, and Old Man Stu on his fresh mediums is licking his lips, because this is what Old Man Stu does. He makes the best of a bad situation. He came out on the hard tyres to start, going for the longer race, going for the battle of attrition. He had to make an adjustment on the fly, and he did it very well. And as a result now, his fresh medium tyres, after the pit stops in front of him, have got him up to 8th place already. Hats off to you, Old Man Stu. What a performance, considering the situation you found yourself in so far. Now, Demo and Scooby in the pits. They're going to spend a little bit longer in the pits because they're going to have to refuel as well as sorting out the damage that they both got. But now that means Grandpa Gary now coming into Murray Corner, coming into the final bend. He's on fresh mediums. He's now pushing. Can he jump a few places over the pit lane? It looks like he can. He's Grandpa Gary in 11th. He's now in 9th. And he is going to come out. He's going to come around and Damo, Scooby, and Damo's just come out ahead of Grandpa, and but Damo's on the fresh hards, and they are cold, hard tyres. So it's going to take a lap or so for him, and he's defending that inside line very early, knowing his tyres are cold, knowing he can't brake as late into this corner as what Grandpa Gary can. Grandpa Gary now just needs to bide his time, but he doesn't want to let Damo spend too much time warming up these tyres, because Grandpa Gary has that massive advantage on tyres right now. So I will expect to see Grandpa Gary trying to make a move, but I hope... Oh, and he's just bumped in there. However, he hasn't gained any more damage. He still has the slight damage that he had, but now Damo, very defensive coming up, knowing he has the tyre disadvantage. Grandpa Gary just needs to bide his time, and a position may make itself available because Damo is going to be looking towards the end of this race now on the hard tyres. However, Grandpa Gary is going to have to keep his cool, because if he looks behind, he has Scooby right behind. But Scooby, fresh tyres, no damage, but a 4.5 second penalty. So even if Scooby was to take a position from Grandpa Gary, he's going to give it straight back. That is so unfortunate. Scooby having one of the most unfortunate race starts I've seen in a long time. But now Damo, Grandpa Gary really pressing up behind Damo here, really trying to take advantage of the tyre advantage, and knowing that the longer he stays behind Damo, the warmer Damo tyres get, the more degradation Grandpa Gary will get. So Damo's just starting to eat. You can see Damo now on the straight, weaving back and forward. He's far enough ahead of Grandpa Gary not to be classed as weaving a defensive move. He's trying to get heat into those tyres because he knows Grandpa Gary's putting the pressure on. And if it wasn't enough to weave down the straight, the pressure and the heat that Grandpa Gary's putting on is enough to warm his tyres as it is. So as they come through Murray Bend now, Murray Corner, Grandpa Gary taking a lot of corner there. You can tell he is really pushing, but he has life in those tyres, and he's staying in slipstream zone. He's staying within the distance of Damo, and he's taking that narrow because he's trying to get there through as fast as he can, using all of the track, and he is still in slipstream. And in the process of following Damo through here, Grandpa Gary managing to pull a 6-second gap between himself and Chaos Druid, who is driving well as it goes. But Scooby behind. Scooby has served his penalty, and he is 2 tenths behind Chaos. No damage, no tyre degradation, and now Chaos Druid defending that inside line very, very well, knowing he doesn't have a tyre advantage, and Scooby yet again finding himself at a disadvantage in terms of position. But now Scooby's going for the... Oh, Chaos Druid defends that so well. Oh, Scooby going up the inside. Going up the inside and cut up a Chaos Druid now has the inside, and he's got a little bit wide. Scooby going around the outside and cutter coming through over the top of the mountain. What a move that is from Scooby. And you can see Scooby is really trying to press the issue here. He knows he's got the pace to finish higher than 11, but he's had some unfortunate events. And to be in the position... Oh, Chaos Druid's gone wide behind. He's hit the wall, he's spun. Oh my God. Chaos Druid, so unfortunate. And it looks like Chaos Druid might have dropped out. I don't know if it's a disconnection issue there, but unfortunately we have lost Chaos Druid, and that means Scooby takes that position and is less than 5 seconds behind Damo. Damo on fresh tyres, and we look ahead of Damo now, and that battle between Old Man Stu and Grandpa Gary is now raging. They're both on Scotty Ray. Sorry, it's the colour difference. Old Man Stu further ahead. Scotty Ray lapping people after halfway through. Oh my word, he's done so well, that's caught me off guard. Scotty halfway through the field, lapping. What an unbelievable performance. And he has a nearly 10-second gap ahead of Apache, who is now coming down fresh mediums towards Murray Corner as we reach the halfway point of this race. And it is the 2 teammates out in front, Scotty Ray and Apache. But Grenster, he is still making those hard tyres work. We have seen him make tyres last so long, and he's very efficient, just like the Iceman himself. calm, cool, collected, decisive, and I'm expecting to see a strong finish from Grenster in this race. Now, Capitan Jinx managing to get an 18-second gap between me and Skinner, but Capitan Jinx, those hard tyres are starting to fall off now, so I would expect to see a pit stop soon, if not this lap, maybe the next one from Capitan Jinx. He does have enough fuel for a couple of laps, but again, it's dwindling. But Mia Skinner, fresh mediums, half a tank of fuel, so Mia got more than enough to capitalise on this. If Capitan Jinx goes into the pits, there's no damage on and he's gone straight past. He's getting the most out of these hards now. He's really pushing further into this race. So looking back further through, Old Man Stew starting to close a gap on Mihai, less than 3 seconds ahead. Mihai on the medium tyres, a little bit of front damage on the bumper and the front. His tyres looking alright, but Mihai's coming into the pits. Mihai's coming into the pits. So now we have Old Man Stew, no damage, fairly fresh mediums. He's going to take a position over Mihai with plenty laps left, and he is 9 seconds behind Chicken Yoga now. Both on fairly fresh mediums. Chicken Yoga maybe a lap or two older than what Old Man Stews are. But this is going to be a close battle. Now we look further through the field. Damo less than a second and a half behind Grandpa Gary. On the hard tyres, but fresh. Grandpa Gary, fairly fresh mediums. And despite that very light damage to the front end, doing very, very well. And considering Grandpa Gary has come from the back of the field to the position he is now, an almost entire race with damage, and is still holding position. Unbelievable performance from Grandpa Gary, and it just goes to show what he can do when he doesn't have Eddie Catflap holding him back on track. Old Man Stew now, big gap over Mihai after that pit stop. 8 seconds, so half a lap, he's closed half a second, on Chicken Yoga. He doesn't have any damage, but Chicken Yoga just keeping his nose clean, making sure that he gets through the laps, because all it takes is one bit of damage that needs a pit stop, and that could be race over. Mia Skinner now, again, doing very well, no damage, medium tyres, really settling into the race now. 34 minutes in, just over halfway through, and this is what we see from Mia Skinner time and time again. We've seen it so far this league, we've seen it in the DFL Championship, that she is now the reigning champion of. Even though there is no one around her on track, Mia knows that she is still fighting for position. It doesn't matter if the person she's racing is on the other side of the track, she knows that every 10th counts, and she is really making it work. Great consistency, unbelievable. The best consistency. Scotty now extending his lead even further. What a performance this is from Scotty. I don't know. Scotty gets up at 5:30 in the morning to compete in these races. Now I don't know what he has for breakfast, but I want to find out, and I'm going to have the same thing every morning. 13-second lead over Apache on the same tyres is phenomenal, especially considering Apache, despite the difference in pit strategy, yes, Grenster's still out on the hard tyres. Oh, Grenster's picked up front bumper damage. I'm not sure how that happened, but regardless, Apache with a 30-second gap over Grenster, that is impressive within itself. Now Scooby for 10th and 11th place. Damo running well. He's making use of those hard tyres. He's expecting to last a long time. Oh my word! And Scooby's right behind it. Scooby with a bump track. That could be a little piece of genius given the position that they are both in. Not challenging. And he is doing it again. Now that is intelligent driving from Scooby. Knowing that challenging for position is not going to help either of them right now. Knowing that Grandpa Gary is less than 4 seconds ahead of Damo, it is in Scooby's best interest to not slow Damo down, because Scooby wants to be progressing. Scooby wants to gain time and doesn't want to lose it just over position. And that 4-second gap is now 3.2. Scooby is playing this very well, because Damo now is less than 3 seconds behind Grandpa Gary. This is unbelievable. Grandpa Gary still unbelievable car control, given the damage that he's got. He's still holding it together. He's still holding position, and he is still doing himself very proud. But that gap is dropping, and it's partly because of the IQ, the driving IQ of Scooby. Like I said, he acts as race engineer for some of the screamers. He has a tactical mind, and he is proving that today. Now, Chicken Yoga, as we look forward into the pits, Mihai has just been up by Scotty Ray. Scotty Ray is halfway through the grid, but now Mihai coming through Murray corner, coming through the final corner. However, Chicken Yoga has just come out of the pits, so he's not going to get the jump on him, but he's only going to be about 10 seconds behind. If Mihai can stay close enough to Scotty Ray, he's going to get this tour. He's going to get the slipstream all the way up here, and he could be helped on his way towards Chicken Yoga in front of him. But now looking back, Demo is now less than 2 seconds behind Grandpa Gary. That's just, and again, Scooby coming right up behind Demo, not making the move, just holding position, trying to get the slipstream from Demo. He knows Demo's tires are more fresh. He knows Demo hasn't got the disadvantage, and trying to battle will slow him down, and he's just wanting the slipstream. He's 2/10 behind Demo, who was 2.5 seconds behind Grandpa Gary. And now we see, after 18 laps, with damage, with tire wear, with fuel usage, we now have Grenster coming into the pits, yet to enter the pit box, and he knows Capitan Jinx isn't far behind, but Capitan Jinx only coming through the slalom towards the end, coming down towards the final corner. How much fuel are we going to see Grenster put in his car here? Because is he going to... So he's got fresh... What tires is it that he's coming out on? He's coming out on the mediums. Fresh mediums. And he's just fueled enough for the end of the race. So Mia Skinner is now the driver behind, because Capitan Jinx also coming in to get the hard tires off. So now Mia Skinner moves up to 4th place. Fresh mediums still to a certain extent. 15 seconds behind Grenster, who is on now fresh mediums. Grenster, after that pit stop though, a whole minute behind Apache on the medium tire, who is still 16 seconds behind our leader, Scotty Ray, who is now pressuring Chicken Yoga with the blue flag, surely going to pull off the racing line just to let him through, but he's giving him a slipstream all the way. So we're going to see Chicken Yoga. Is he going to move off the racing line? Yes, he brakes early, gives the inside line to Scotty Ray, and as Scotty Ray comes through, he has clean air yet again. But now we'll go right back. So we've got Scooby less than half a second behind Demo, who is less than half a second behind Grandpa Gary. What a battle this is. So Grandpa Gary going defensive into the final corner, doing very well to hold, very well positioned, good car position, and he slows Demo down enough for Scooby now. And Scooby not getting too rash, not getting too excited and trying to pass Demo, means they are both within half a second of Grandpa Gary, and they are Demo pulls out. Demo now looking on the outside, and he's gone past Grandpa Gary, and behind that Scooby is now looking for the slipstream. Can Scooby make a move? Coming into the first corner, it would be a bold move. Grandpa Gary defended very, very well, just like Demo in front of him. Now, coming up the mountain, this is going to be exciting. So now Scooby really pressuring up behind Grandpa Gary, just coming over the top of the mountain. Oh, Grandpa Gary just clips the wall there, but not enough to set him off as he defends well going into the S's coming down here. But Demo now playing it cool, knowing he's on the hard tires, knowing he's got a gap just... he's had a wobble and that started to panic. But Demo just has enough of a gap to avoid the slipstream, but given that wobble, wow, Grandpa Gary has really closed the position there, but just clipping the wall gives Scooby the opportunity now. Get in the slipstream with Grandpa Gary. So Is now Scooby going to take this opportunity? Knowing Grandpa Gary slightly compromised. He's going to go around the outside. He's got a couple of tires on the grass. What a move that is. Grandpa Gary not putting up too much defense because he knows it's in his best interest to slip in behind Scooby and try to follow him through. But now Scooby, clean air ahead, no damage, fairly fresh mediums. Knowing the Dame was on the hard tire, he's going to be really pressing the issue right now as he comes through. Murray corner. So as we ride forward, Scotty Ray, nearly 20 seconds, the lead has extended. Yet again, we see Scotty Ray really demonstrating the skills that he has. And bear in mind, this Scotty Ray, this 17-year-old Kiwi is still in school. Imagine what this guy's going to be able to do in a couple of years' time. Imagine the World Tour victories he may get. That I will be commentating on. Over 20 seconds is the gap now, and he is pressing up behind. Who is that in front? Is that Capitan Jinx? He is now coming up behind, 2/3 through this race. He is starting to press up behind Capitan Jinx in 6th place, who is soon going to be getting the blue flags. Not quite yet, but the fact, and Old Man Stu coming into the pits as well in 5th. So that means Capitan Jinx is going to give him the jump in the pits. So Old Man Stu, what a race it's been for Old Man Stu though. Starting the race, getting the damage, having to pit early, having to pit several times, and is still halfway up the grid. Nothing less than we expect from Old Man Stu. Capitan Jinx takes that position. Mihai now takes that position. Now looking further back, Scooby just outside of slipstream distance of Damo. Damo doing very well. Right now, sorry to skip to the front so quickly and maybe make you dizzy and sick, but Apache's coming into the pits now with 10 laps to go. Oh, accidentally standing on my keyboard. With 10 laps to go, and Apache's coming in, I'm expecting, well, I guarantee it's soft tires because he's done 2 stints on the medium. So now he's coming through, he's going to repair that damage. And to be honest, what I'm expecting to see here from Apache is not a challenge for the lead. It's not a challenge for the victory. What Apache's going to do here is he's going to try to nab the fastest lap so he can get that extra point just to take it away, because Scotty Ray has life in these tires, but he will still need to pit again. And Capitan Jinx with the blue flags, letting them pass. Great etiquette. It's nothing less than we expect. Oh, Capitan Jinx. Ken Block impression drifting round that corner. But Scotty Ray, 44 seconds ahead of Apache after that pit stop. So he's got more than enough. But now Apache getting slowed down a little bit by traffic. And it is not the fault of Scooby. It is not the fault of Damo, because they're in a section of the track and they are battling. Oh, Scooby! Oh, Scooby's come through! They've had a little bit of contact. That is so unfortunate, because they were both trying to get out of the way of Apache while keeping out the way of each other. And that is, and again, Scooby's waited there because he knows that even though it was no one's fault, it was just unfortunate. They're coming together, and Scooby, a noble deed of just letting him through. But that lets Grandpa Gary through. And Damo, knowing that he has damage and knowing that his races with Scooby, allows Grandpa Gary through, who goes through. What a move! And now Grandpa Gary up in 9th place yet again, as he is now out of slipstream range of Damo. So Damo's not going to be able to follow him the way that he'd hoped. And now Grandpa Gary back up in 9th place. I cannot believe it. Grandpa Gary positioning like a yo-yo. But one of them ones with a gyro, so it bounces back up instead of just bouncing and staying hitting the floor. Scotty Ray with a 45-second lead. However, he still needs to pit yet. So, but I would imagine, knowing that Apache's come out on fresh softs, knowing that Apache has a 48-second lead over Grandster and a 45-second deficit behind Scotty, he knows Apache's going to be pushing every millimeter of this track to the limit. And if Apache doesn't come out with the fastest lap, given his strategy, he's going to be disappointed, I can guarantee it. But there's a part of me that thinks Scotty's going to say, you know what? No. I'm taking 25 points from this race, plus the fastest lap, because Scotty Ray is a competitor. And you don't get up at 5:30 to compete in a race before you go to school to not gain points. But Apache's hit the wall, he's clipped the wall, but he hasn't got any damage. Very lucky there. Again, Apache pushing life to the limit, as he does. Very lucky not to get that. Oh, if you look back at, what was it, Jeddah? Max Verstappen on the fastest lap of all time. Hit the wall with that same pace. Boom, suspension gone. But Apache very, very lucky to get away with that. But he knows how far he can push this car. He knows how far he can push this lap. And he is flying. So as we come down the straight, just coming towards the end of this sector, I expect the fastest sector right here, despite that. Apache left the party. Capitan No. Apache's left the party. I feel like that's a connection issue. Can't communicate with Capitan Jinx anymore, but that's not a problem because the stream continues to go. Chicken yoga in the pits now. Let's see what lap. This is a good lap time from Apache. What can we see from Apache? It's not going to be the fastest lap of the race so far, I don't think. Just short. The fact Scotty Ray has the fastest lap on medium, unbelievable. But as Scotty Ray comes across the top of the mountain now, as he comes through the tightening section now, ready to come down through the twists and turns of the S's. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide, but he's held it together very well. His medium tyre started to degrade, really starting to degrade. And as a result of that, coming into the corners, his ability to slow the car down, his rate of retardation is no longer what it used to be. So he now has to really think about whether or not he needs to pit, because sometimes slowing down is as important as speeding up. And his tyres are starting to go. His petrol lights are flashing. But Apache still on the soft tyre, still pushing. As he comes through the top of the mountain section now, within millimeters of the wall, Apache is gunning for it. Apache's extending the gap between himself and Grandster. He's lowering the gap, and that's his best sector time, but it's not the fastest sector overall. He's just lost the back end, but he's held it together well. Unbelievable. To manage to deal with that level of oversteer and that snap on a wheel is unbelievable. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can tell that this is a man who's learned how to use a wheel in a go-kart in the wet, because he instilled oversteer on purpose and holds it together. I can't do it on a controller, never mind a wheel. But now, Scotty Ray's in the pits. Scotty Ray's just about to come in, so he's in the pit box. He's now refueling enough to the end of the race, and now Scotty Ray on his way out of the pit, just leaving the pits. And that means Apache knows, with 5 laps left to go, as we are entering the last 10 minutes of this race, Scotty Ray now is still 25 seconds in the lead and has come out on fresh softs with minimal fuel in the tank. As much as I hold Apache in high regard, as much as I'm aware of his ability, I cannot see anybody closing a 20-second gap on Scotty Ray when he's on fresh softs with a near empty tank for 5 laps. What a performance! But Apache will definitely now be going for the fastest lap, despite Scotty Ray already having the fastest lap on mediums and now coming out on softs. Now looking through, Grandster still has front bumper damage very slightly, and the gap between himself in third and Mia Skinner in fourth is now less than 12 seconds. What a strong finish this is from Mia Skinner. I've been so wrapped up in the battle for the front, the battle at the back. I didn't even realise, but Mia Skinner coming in for the soft. Mia Skinner going for an aggressive final stint, and this is what I like to see. I don't like to see people settling for the position. I want to see people pushing the limit, and this is what we get from the community and the FTWRC. Unbelievable. Also, Capitan Jinx, his soft is starting to wear. His fuel's looking low. Oh, he's coming to the pits, and he's hit the pit barrier. He's gone full, and he can't flap and hit the barriers. Oh, that is such a shame. However, the gap between himself and me high behind is enough to hold position. Now, Old Man Stew's coming down. Old Man Stew got enough life in those tyres and enough fuel to finish this race without a pit stop. And guess what? Who would have thought, coming into the last few laps of the race, Old Man Stew would be closing in on Mia Skinner. Less than 4 laps. Mia Skinner's on fresh soft tyres now, but Old Man Stew, that gap from 5 seconds is now 3.5 seconds in about a third of a lap. You couldn't write it, you couldn't make it up. What an unbelievable battle. So looking through the rest of the field now, starting to spread out, starting to settle in. Unfortunately, Scooby there with a large penalty. And despite the issues, Scooby's, yes, he's in 11th place. Yes, he's 25 seconds adrift. However, given the fact that Scooby's hadn't had the issues that he's had the spills that he's had, the fact that he's managed to hold position the way that he has with damage, the way that now he has 6 laps of this race to go on the soft tyres, so it can only get better. The position that Scooby is in is not representative in the slightest of the race that he's had, because the fact that he's managed to be in the position that he's in and control the car the way that he has is nothing short of miraculous. Absolutely sensational, of biblical proportions. So now, as we are on board with Old Man Stew, less than 3 seconds. He's now 2 seconds now, the gap between himself and Mia Skinner. The fact he's doing this on medium tyres, he's closing the gap on Mia Skinner, the reigning champion of the DFL Championship, newly crowned at the weekend after 90 minutes of the Nürburgring. And Old Man Stew is closing the gap on medium tyres when Mia Skinner's on soft. This is unbelievable. And could you expect anything less from Old Man Stew and Mia Skinner? I think not. Unbelievable performance as they come over the top of the mountain. This is where Old Man Stew is particularly strong. Somehow manages to carry enough speed through here to not slow down without losing control of the car. Unbelievable head on the shoulders of Old Man Stew to not be affected by the pressure after 26 laps of this race and still managing to do what he's doing. The gap less than 2 seconds now behind Mia Skinner. And Mia Skinner, as calm and as composed as she is also very much aware of what Old Man Stew can do. And yes, she has just set her fastest sector time over that third sector of the race so far. But Old Man Stew, even though it's 100th by 100th, 10th by, it's down to 1.7, he's gained another 10th. And Mia Skinner really needs to focus on her own race right now, because if she starts to focus on what she can see in her mirrors, Old Man Stew, it's another 10th. Even though Mia Skinner's just set her fastest lap time of the race, Old Man Stew on medium tyres has gained his 1.3. Oh my word! What a performance from Old Man Stu. And he is continuing to close the gap now. We've seen this before, but in reverse. Mia Skinner closing a 13-second gap on Old Man Stu round Suzuka over 3 laps. And now Old Man Stu has closed a 4-second gap in 2 laps. And he is 1.5 seconds behind on the slower tyre. Oh, come on, man. You'd think he had any cat flash air conditioning machine. Wow. Now looking forward, Scotty Ray on those fresh softs, extending his lead now to 25 seconds. Hang on a minute, riding on board with Scotty Ray. Is that Old Man Stu? Is he? Oh my, Scotty's now closing in on Old Man Stu. And Old Man Stu, right now the blue flags for Old Man Stu has very strategically got to allow Scotty past, because Old Man Stu could not afford to lose a 10th. And he's done it well. He's done it well. He's pulled out wide just enough to cut in across. And now he's got the slipstream of Scotty Ray all the way down this back straight. And he is closing in with a slipstream on Mia Skinner. Oh my word. So now this 2-second gap, you'll watch it in the split. It's 2.2, it's 2.1. He's just outside the slipstream. No, he's not. And as we look forward to Scotty Ray, who's now closing on Mia Skinner, now Mia Skinner's got to start thinking, how do I let Scotty Ray through without compromising my time? Because Old Man Stu's just let him through with compromising very little of his time. So now Old Man Stu has the slipstream of Scotty Ray in first place, who has just let him coming into Hell Bend, coming into Hell Corner. And this is somewhere Mia Skinner cannot afford to lose. So Mia Skinner's gone for the outside line. But Scotty Ray is flashing, but he's keeping the slipstream. He's keeping the slipstream. Mia Skinner's gone to the inside to try to give the position to Scotty. As a result, Scotty anticipated a stay on the outside after flashing his light. Scotty hasn't lost a lot of time. And for Scotty, it doesn't matter too much because Apache's coming in for fresh softs because he wants the fastest lap. But as a result of that, Old Man Stu is now less than a second behind Mia Skinner with 2 laps to go. Oh my word, what a showdown this has been. And they both did their very best not to lose time, to allowing the blue flags of Scotty Ray to let them through. But oh my word, this is like Suzuka roll over again, but in reverse. And Old Man Stu remembers what it was like to have the pressure of Mia Skinner closing in over 2 laps. And that was what pressured that final mistake that gave Mia Skinner the podium position. But now Old Man Stu is wearing those shoes, and Old Man Stu's the one knocking on the door, and Mia Skinner's the one who's going to have to try to keep her composure, because this is only going to get closer, because Old Man Stu is still in slipstream zone, and he's going downhill, and Mia Skinner's going to hit that uphill, that incline first, which will close that gap to just less than a second. Oh, yes, it has. And now they're going to come around here flat out. And Mia Skinner really has to start to concentrate now. She has to use every single bit of what it was that won her the DFL championship in this race. And she now needs to race like she's racing for the championship, because Old Man Stu is not going to let this die. What a battle this is, coming into the penultimate lap. And now Old Man Stu really getting the power down, losing the back end, but holding it together. Then he's less than 3/4 of a second behind Mia Skinner, coming into Hell Bend. Oh my word! But it's the final lap. This is their final lap because they've been lapped. Oh my word! Yes, of course. So this means it's a showdown to the line. I can't believe what I'm saying. And I'm standing here jumping around the living room, and this is why I bought wireless microphones for my shirt, because I cannot sit still. Old Man Stu now less than 3/4 of a second behind Mia Skinner, who is still in the slipstream. Still in the slipstream of Scotty Ray in first place. But hang on a second. Who is Scotty Ray now? Oh, Grenstar's just took a knock off the wall. Grenstar's took, but he's got a 16. Oh my word, Mia Skinner's closed the gap on Grenstar to 16 seconds. If she can follow the slipstream through, this is the final lap. But it's not Grenstar's final lap. 3/10, Old Man Stu is behind Mia Skinner. And oh my God, Mia Skinner now, because Mia Skinner getting held. Oh, Mia Skinner's had a wobble. And Scotty Ray gracefully letting them through. But now less than a 10th. Bumper coming down the final straight. But as a result, oh my word, they have an extra lap. Because Scotty Ray had that wobble and has allowed them through. Mia Skinner and Old Man Stu have an extra lap to battle against each other. Mia Skinner defending the inside line, coming into this final. Old Man Stu. Oh, Old Man Stu's gone off. Old Man Stu's gone off. Oh my word, he's trying to hold it around the outside. But look at him. Oh my word, this is unbelievable. Oh my word, this might be the first time you've heard. I'm struggling for words, man. And after 1 hour and 3 minutes of racing, could this all be decided by that one wide run? And that could be the difference between the soft and the medium tyres. But Mia Skinner still has the rest of this lap to navigate her way through the mountain. All it's going to take is one mistake. Those soft tyres are starting to degrade. She's going to need to use every single... Oh my God, Grandpa Gary sideways on the track. Oh my God, that's good. Oh no, my shoes are a wobble. And Scotty Ray takes the victory. And Apache... Oh my word, I didn't even realise Apache's finished 6 1,000ths of a second behind Scotty Ray. Oh my God, look. Oh my God, noise complaints. 6 1,000ths of a second. And because of the battle raging between Mia Skinner and Old Man Stu, as we expect, I missed that completely. What a return that was for Apache. 6 1,000ths. And looking back through the grid, Grandpa Gary only 3.5 seconds behind Scooby. That's not a bad finish. And yes, given what Scooby and Grandpa Gary have been through in this race, unbelievable that they've managed to do what they've been able to do. And now Old Man Stu with that slight damage is going to be ruining the outside move on this very corner that pushed him wide. But he's nearly lost it anyway, but the battle between himself and Mia Skinner is one that will continue till the end of this season. Grenstar in 3rd place. Scotty Ray winner with the fastest lap. Mia Skinner crossed the line in 4th place. What a performance. Old Man Stu, considering the way the race started for Old Man Stu and the issues that he has, the fact that he has even managed to come back to 5th place and finish within 5 seconds of Mia Skinner is nothing short of unbelievable. I cannot believe the race we have just witnessed here today. And Scotty Ray taking the victory. 6 1,000ths ahead of Apache. Even though we know that Apache will push for that fastest lap, Scotty Ray finishing the race with the fastest lap. Maximum points, Apache. And oh my word. And what I'm going to do now is if we can just get a few words, I'm going to save the replay, a few words right now. So these are the results here. So if I'm going to, I'm lost for words. I can't believe you've done this. I'm going to go into the party and I'm going to unmute a few people, and I would like to just have a quick chat with some of the people involved in this race, because I have never seen anything like what I have just seen. So looking through, let me see. Scotty, unmute. Scotty, can you hear me right now?
Yep, loud and clear, boss, loud and clear.
Scotty, absolutely unbelievable. The strategy that you had, you got ahead from the start after losing the position to Apache in the sprint race, defended the first corner unbelievably, great strategy. Did you expect after that gap Apache to be able to catch up and be within 6/1000ths of a second?
I'm gonna be honest with you, it was intentional. I did back off so we could go side by side across the line in flying formation, just to top off the race, seeing we've had
Do you know what it is?
1-2 in every session.
I had a slight feeling because I seen you back, and when I seen you back off to allow Old Man Stu and Mia Skinner through, I seen you had a little bit of a wobble going through, and I could see that you were just thinking, I don't want to slow this battle down. Very noble.
I was actually
very
coming down
noble
the top
deed.
of the hill. I was looking backwards at the battle. I was quite enjoying it actually.
Yeah, oh, you know, again, it's like that famous, I remember Max Verstappen, when he was coming up the lap, I can't remember who it is, and goes, hey, the battle's really good. I was like, yeah. No, but you know what it is? It makes sense because you were so far ahead, I wasn't focusing on yourself, and then when I just seen 6/1000s, I thought, whoa, what? But then when I seen that Apache didn't have the fastest lap, I assumed something, but, man, what a performance. What a performance.
Yeah. Thank you. It ran pretty perfectly. It was like clockwork, to be honest with you. Just focusing on hitting those apexes and making my way through traffic.
Oh, mate, when you did it unbelievably, absolutely fantastically. And yet again, another fantastic performance. Really showed. New Zealand, not Australia, New Zealand winner, the second time Kiwi has won. Absolutely unbelievable. Well done to you, mate. Now let's have a look. Who's still left of this party to have a chat with? Apache or mute? Apache, can you hear me, sir? There we are. Apache, an excellent performance in the sprint race. You managed to get past on the first corner around the outside. Very, very, very good move. However, obviously Scotty wise to it in the main race. How do you think that went? Well, that's it. Do you think was it just? Do you think it was just pure pace that he beat you on, or do you think you could have, maybe strategized a little bit better, or do you think it was just purely skill? Yeah, no, it's totally understandable. Totally understandable. Now, I mean, obviously taking maximum points, Scotty there missed the first, so I believe I'll have to work it out, but I believe you still be the lead. But given the points from behind, Grants, that's still going to be pushing. How do you see the next few races going? Do you think you're going to be able to keep the lead position, or do you think that Scotty's going to give you a run for your money? That's all we can ask for. It's all we can ask for, just like everyone else on the grid. Thank you very much for such an entertaining race, mate. Excellent, excellent performance. Let's have a look. Mia. So now we'll have a quick chat with the newly crowned champion of the DFL League after 90 minutes of absolutely grueling war of attrition. What a race that was. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you can accept, like, your props, Old Man Stu, coming back from last place after a couple of laps to pull that back. That last few lap battle, that must have had reverse shades of Suzuka. What were you thinking when you could see him in your mirrors? It was Scotty in the lead, actually. Yeah. No. I mean, it's one of those things. Obviously, replays be reviewed and everything. Obviously, incidents, penalty awards, everything. If there's nothing reported in the incident reports, it won't be. So we'll see. We'll see how it is. I mean, if that's the case, Grandpa Gary's one of the most fair, one of the most level-headed, despite being a bit of a lunatic. Him and Eddie between them, he's also one of the most respectful. So unbelievable. Well, that was it. It's one of those tracks. It was when we ran the RGTR League last year. It wasn't on there, and it's one of those tracks where, especially with heavy damage, all it takes is one clip off a wall, and almost every corner there is no runoff. So I think everyone to do the way they did was unbelievable. But yeah, when it was Scotty let you pass, because at first I was like, this is the last lap. So then when it was revealed that when you went past them, you had that extra lap, it was sort of like, oh, hang on a minute. These are both given everything to get to the line. And now there's that extra lap. So when Old Man Stu came alongside and you defended the inside line, I had a feeling he was going to try to hang it round the outside. And I think if you were both on the same tyre, I think that would have been a very valuable move. And I think the only difference is you were on the soft, he was on the medium. And I think that's what made the difference. But to be honest, the defensive position was unbelievable. But even for Old Man Stu to get himself into that position to be challenging I think it's unbelievable. Yeah, well, I think even with this evening, with having the technical issues, with practice being half the time it we usually would be, I think it made it even more intense because sometimes with 20 minutes practice, some people will run effectively a sprint race simulation, but no one had the chance for that. So everyone was just trying to burn out tires, and I think everyone was in the same boat, and everyone performed unbelievably. And I would just like to say thank you to you, Mia, for joining this league, as well for bringing me into the DFL league for the commentary as well. Very much appreciated. And I'll tell you what, you are very much a positive asset to the league that we are building. Thank you very much. Oh, there'll be a season 10. Excellent. Love it. Love it. Appreciate it. Right, so thank you very much. So now looking further through, we're gonna go. Well, I mean, everyone that's left in. Firstly, Grandster, are you still with me? Yeah, we are, Grandster. No, can't hear Grandster. Oh, Scooby's left. I was going to speak to him next. Grandster, if you are still here, if you bear with us 1 second, I'm going to have a chat with Grandpa Gary if he is able to hear. Grandpa, can you hear? Unbelievable, Grandpa Gary. I tell you what, this is one of those races, right? Yes, you finished 11th. The position is not representative of the race that you had, given the issues that you had. For you to start where you did, to get yourself up to 5th or 6th, and then to continue to, well, I was going to say gain damage and repair it. You didn't even repair it. You stayed out with it and did unbelievably. Like, unfortunately, it's only the top 10 because of Discord. It's only the top 10 eligible for driver of the day, but one position further ahead, and I'll be honest, you would have got my vote, man. Mate, you know what it is? That's what I love about this league and the community that it is I've spent as much time focusing on the battle between yourself, Scooby, Demo, because the racecraft, you might not have the pace that, like the aliens have got, but the racecraft and the respect is there. And the battles at the back. Hey, well, that's why we're gonna develop a seniors league, man. But no, honestly, like I said, the battles throughout the grid, it doesn't matter about pace, the racecraft, yourself, Demo, Scooby, like at the end, the chicken yoga, it was unbelievable. And as well, when you consider you've got, the top 3 or 4 coming through and lapping, so not only are you trying to navigate each other, you're trying to allow those people through without losing time. And I think you all did so well in doing that. And keeping time without slowing down the leaders is brilliant. Yeah, it's yeah. Oh, he would have. He would have. Yeah, it's 100%, and I think it's. Oh yeah, 100% will be. It will be because, like I say, like unbelievable. And again, I appreciate the commitment and the community spirit that everyone has. And I think it is really unfortunate for Eddie not to be able to connect. I know we tried as long as we could to get him in, and I think that next door neighbor, he sat outside of McDonald's, I think, on the free Wi-Fi. Hey, I tell you what, if he could manage to convert his mobility scooter into a sim rig, he'd do better than he could with his wheel. but but no, I think one of the things I touched on as well at the start, you look through the starting grid and you look at the driver ratings, and it's a range of everything. There's not one person on this grid who doesn't have a safety rating of an S. And that, I think, that speaks volumes about the community that we've got, the community that surround everything that is FTWRC. And I just can't wait for the future, because there will definitely be a couple of leagues, and it's no. Well, that's it exactly. It's little things, like I said. Pace around a track is it comes secondary to racecraft and just respect. And it's little things like at the start of the race, like for example, Grenster's one of the fastest drivers. He wins 200 lap races on Rory streams. And start of the race, someone says, tags with Grenster, there's no rain on this. He's more than happy to say, no, there's no rain. This is what I would suggest for setup. This is what I would. He wants everyone else to be better, and I think that's unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to insult us in public on stream. Yeah, no, yeah, but after that race, I'm very glad that you're part of the league, and when the leagues develop and we have several, like I know, obviously with all of this, my dad's got involved. He's now got a wheel. He's going to be practicing as well, so it's just going to add to the chaos. And honestly, it's an absolute pleasure. I tell you, how many seniors leagues are there on Gran Turismo on YouTube? Well, yeah, mate, we could do 65 plus and have a whole league. For 10th place or 4th place, you would have absolutely loved it, and it's just an absolute pleasure to be a part of. And I would like to thank everyone who's involved. So, cheers, Gary.